Well, what is going on, everyone? This is another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 8, episode 21. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the entirety of the LEC 2023 year, the format, G2 Fnatic, Mad Lions. Obviously, those ended up being the top 3 organizations that ended up, panning out toward the season finals. And I also have a little bit of an update for you guys before we start talking about the LEC 2023 year is that next week we're going to be doing this for the LCK, actually, because I know a lot of you guys liked it when we did it for the LCS. So I thought to myself, you know what, might as well probably make this a yearly thing, which is kind of just wrap up everything in one show for each major region. China's is going to be pretty hard because how do we talk about the basically BLG and JDG just stomped everyone, and EDG had their dramas, and Abo had Karsa, but threw him away because he was trash, and then got another rookie jungler, and they started to play like a team. So China's gonna be weird to talk about. But yes, next week we're gonna be doing this for the LCK. And yeah, all right, man. How you been doing? What's up?
I've been doing that, man. It's kind of a little exhausted,
Why are you on now? What the hell?
What happened? Nah,
because I'm tired.
I mean, I go to the gym, and then that's tiring.
Oh, yeah. I've been going back to the gym recently, too. I try to do it freaking, I try to do it 3 times a week, at least, Go and do, I try to do shoulders, buys, and tries, just a combination of that, Oh, and chest. Sometimes. I haven't did chest yet, but I started going back recently. Oh, no, man. Going to the gym is just really good for just stress relieving. You just feel good after it's over.
I know exactly.
Like you just put your headphones in, or however you listen to music or whatever, just podcasts or whatever. You just kind of just start working out. Like I went there, and I just after that I just take a shower after that, and then I just come back home and I feel pretty good after this. But just want to let you guys know this show will now end up on all the podcasting platforms. So I announced this last night on my the Iron Man podcast we have on Rumble, is that this podcast is going to end up being on the podcasting platforms like Spotify and Amazon Music and Pandora and Audible, actually. So if you can't watch the show live, you can end up watching the show through those types of ways, actually. And also, we're going to end up having more content come out for you guys. I will end up actually making a huge channel update video, which is going to be coming out sometime soon. It's probably going to end up being out by tomorrow, if I'm being honest here, if I get enough free time by tonight. Because after this show, I have a one-on-one, and then after that, I'll have free time to just do my channel update video. So once I update once I upload my channel update video, then we'll be back to putting out consistent content as usual, actually. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the updates. This show's going to be on podcasting platforms and channel update video, and you guys will end up having your consistent content come out. I'm going to be getting back and doing movie reviews and all that stuff, and I'm super excited. This is our 183rd episode. Holy crap. We've been doing this for, I have to see, when's the first time we actually did a podcast episode in this series, actually? I need to go all the way down to episode 1. Holy crap. Let me see. Because
I think it was 2018, 2019.
Yeah, so I can actually see the birth of this channel. When did I... Okay, if you remember from my main channel, when did I have my anniversary? It was October... It was the 15th, right? I mean, yeah, it was October 15th. It was October 15th. When was this channel made? I'm going to have to go through my videos and see how long have we had this channel for. It's got to be since November. I know we started in November 2019 when Levi joined 100 Thieves. That was our first video we did. Crazy. First video we ever did was about 100 Thieves. Fucking crazy.
A C9 podcast. And your first video is 100 Thieves. Ain't that poetic?
Our first video released 4 years ago. It was with me and James.
Hey, that's like me on my channel. My first video got released on 9/11, and I.
Oh, you were right. You were right. It was November 19th, 2018.
I knew it was 2018.
You're right, because he would have to join that off season. Actually, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
It was. I knew it was 2018 because I had a friend
that was the year that Rogue was doing all those like late night live streams, and then we were all just coming on StreamYard and talking to him. And then, man, those
2019,
wild.
2020, yup.
God damn. So the channel's anniversary is going to be after next month, after my content creator anniversary. Crazy, actually. So when did I put out the first podcast episode for this series? This series went through several name changes where I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is the name we got. And I already like this org, and I love this org. So what's the first episode we've ever did here? Date. Oldest. No. Date. Published. Oldest. What's the first episode? The first episode came out 3 years ago. This came out 3 years ago. It was published on June 6, 2020.
D-Day. He did it on D-Day.
Bro! Oh, God. I want to feel the look. This is crazy. Look at this right here. This was back when we first did our first episode. And I think this was talking about, like, that was the LCS 2020 spring split. It's when Cloud9 was just graping the league. Back in the day, man. Back in the day. Good God. So we've had this show for 3 years. That's pretty good. 3 years, almost 200 episodes. Seems pretty plausible, actually. Seems pretty plausible. And make sure we shuffle everything back with the podcast, and we're good to go. All right, man. So let's get this show on the road, everyone. All right. So the LEC 2023 year. So overall, if we're talking just from like a broadcast standpoint, pretty good. For the most part, I feel like the LEC broadcast is really good. I've always really enjoyed their broadcast. It was really cringe at a lot of points back in the day, but they've really made strides to change and be not only professional, but they found a good, clear balance in trying to portray being serious and then being funny to the screen. Obviously, seeing Shox and Laurel, doing the hosting is always great. Other than that, the production was fine. Kadrio's casting is great, despite him saying some really crazy off-the-wall things half the time. Kadrio's casting was great. That's pretty much it I can say for the broadcast. I think the only negative I have for them kind of blends into the format, where, like, I remember when BDS lost to Fnatic, and then the broadcasts were like, yeah, but BDS still have Worlds. Well, what are you talking about? They just lost a heartbreaking best of 5. What? You still have Worlds, but that hurts. Just losing a heartbreaking best of 5 like that. Like,
I mean, it's true that they still have Worlds, though. That's mean they can just rebound from that. Sometimes, like,
we hope they're gonna rebound from that because they have to face the big Chads and Golden Guardians. Am I right?
Yeah.
So that'll be like my only gripe with the broadcast is, I think if you want people to take these 3 splits seriously, that when you're getting closer to Worlds and when you're talking about like Worlds qualification matches, I don't think we should like potentially undermine a heartbreaking best of 5, but kind of like giving it, well, they still have this. It's like, no, that's still gonna hurt in the immediate moment too, because you still have an entire season still to play. But other than that, no, it's everything else it is pretty much fine. Just finding a balance in that is fine. I mean, they didn't have the best shoutcaster of all time with Tigress on their podcast, but hey, it was there, obviously. So after that, let's talk about the format. So a lot of people had interesting thoughts about the format. I've been thinking about it all day, and I've come to some conclusions. All right, so the 3 format system, because it's rumored that a lot of the other regions are going to be starting to do this format too. I'd say the lessons to learn from this format, obviously it's just allegedly, that could literally change by the time we start next year anyway. But so I think winter, spring, and summer, I think having them be B splits is fine as a name, but I think you might want to change up the names of them. Maybe per region, maybe call one like the Darius Cup, or I don't know, something like that. That's kind of like spice up your winter season, No,
I don't think we need that. I don't even think we need that many splits. Like,
I think we have too much downtime sometimes.
Yeah, it's too much downtime. Sometimes You don't need that. That one is split sometimes kind of unnecessary. It's like,
they look because they use winter for like championship points, and if I'm looking at the format all year, the things that I didn't like, those are the only things that I didn't like.
Championship points fucked a lot of teams.
Championship points for sure I didn't like. What else? It was summer being basically your seeding for season finals, and that's essentially the breaks. Because the thing here with the breaks that people don't understand is when you get to a point where you're not even going to qualify for Worlds, you're going to have a long break after that. Like to qualify for Worlds toward the end of the year happens like what, in August?
Yeah,
for the most part. So if your team, so there's LCS teams, guys, that have been on break since July, middle of July, actually. So it's just really weird how these guys talk about a break and how they're getting burnt out when it's like, dude, if you don't make Worlds or playoffs, you're gonna have a long break. Actually, I think it's good to have a nice regimen where you're not getting burnt out. But, when people are like, oh, I need a break, it's like, dude, you'll have a long break if your team's not making playoffs and or making Worlds. Remember, because if you don't make playoffs in some splits, you're sitting out until summer. That's not until like July, June, May. So you'd have been taking what, almost 2 months off essentially?
Yeah.
Not even playing a game on stage. Because people never, the thing that the format really got harped on was the summer thing and the implications on championship points, right? So I think you just remove championship points. You don't need that. Each split should have different circumstances based off the split itself, right? So winter should just be, hey, you could potentially win a trophy. There you go. Because a lot of players still haven't won anything. So, hey, maybe that might be it's the first part of the year. People want to prove themselves. Maybe you might get a team because I think in theory, the reason why there's three splits is, I don't think that this is a good reason, because I think having 2 splits a year makes the scarcity of them a good thing, because obviously it's a less is more approach, and it makes earning one feel a lot more worthwhile if you have less of them. But if they're going with this model, I think this model is kind of for maybe a team like BDS could potentially win their first split ever if we have 3 splits. And hey, an org like BDS, who was 10th place last year, pretty much all year, if they got a decent, better roster and had a decent meta shift, they could actually make it finals. And they did, right? But really, if we're being honest here, really outside of spring, where that scenario actually came true, for the most part for this year, it was pretty much just the same orgs who've been kind of winning and doing the best for a while. Winter was G2 Mad Lions, okay. The spring split, yeah, you had your BDS. The team is kind of the theory that I said before, having an org that you never thought could make it finals potentially, make it, but it was still Mad Lions there, right? Mad Lions did very well in the LEC for a very long time. Then in summer, you had G2 versus Excel, right? So an org like Excel made their first finals ever in this format, right? But G2 still ended up winning, right? But I get their idea of hey, this could be the split where a random new org makes the finals. So both scenarios came true. I just think the fact that it still kind of came down to the best orgs winning consistently. And then obviously we had season finals, and what happened in the season finals? It ended up being Mad Lions, Fnatic, and G2. It ended up being Fnatic and G2 in the finals. So I think if that's your mindset to it, I don't think it's really worth it, honestly. I think you might as well at that point just have 2 splits then, whoever just finishes in spring, just make spring longer then. That's your goal then. Just make spring a more longer thing and just go from there. Because I didn't mind top 8 teams make it to the next round. I think that's fine. I don't know where players thought, oh, well, that's too harsh. You have to be good in this short amount of time. What? If you can't be top 8 in 3 weeks, you suck. I'm sorry. You don't deserve to make it to the next round. I'm good on that. And also, let's be honest here. The teams that were not 8th, 9th, and 10th were pretty bad this year. Let's be honest here. Fnatic in winter. Who else was with them? Excel. Excel didn't really get good until summer.
Yeah.
And they had to go through massive roster changes to even get to that point,
And not even at the beginning of summer. That was it was like the second week is when everything
started clicking together. So I'll be honest here, anyone, if you can't get 4 wins in 3 weeks to be 8th at least, you're trash. You don't deserve to make it past that point. Like I do agree with the format on that. There's got to be some level of barrier to entry. You have to have some standard for yourself, So I don't mind the best of 3s. I think best of 3s are fine. I mean, LCK and LPL play best of 3s, so I think that's something that should be in a format implication, because obviously I think that leads into more better drafting, and this is in theory stuff too. So better drafting, better preparation for how a team's supposed to actually play, what picks you could also ban on certain sides. And after that, you get your top 4 teams if you can't make it past the VO3 stage, and you have your playoffs, so to speak. So for summer, whoever makes the finals for next year, let's just say they start making tweaks to the format. Summer, whoever makes the finals should qualify for Worlds. Not a seed, because they want to do season finals. That's fine. You want to season finals? That's cool. But summer should matter, because it's one of the splits that leads into the season finals. Because, dude, by the format itself, summer is what qualifies you for season finals. So they clearly want you to value summer. Okay, then whoever makes the finals qualifies for Worlds then. Yeah. Sounds fair? Not a seed. You don't get a seed. Not a first or second. You're in Worlds, okay? So then after that, if you want a season finals, you don't win a trophy. For summer, to win your trophy is the season finals, okay? So you get to the finals. Whoever makes the finals, you get your world qualification seeds. Then whoever wins that finals, you get a season finale, because they want a season finals like a TV show for some reason. Then after the season finals, whoever is your other 2 seeds, they make it. Then you have your season finals, and then you win your trophy. There you go. You combine summer with the season finals. Your finals are qualified for Worlds, which if anyone says that definitely won't matter, you're a crackhead. Then you have your season finals, and you're good. I think there's not much to change out of the format. I think the format's fine, but I think it really just depends all on the implications of it. And the championship points things is what really kind of screwed it over, because then you had people going well, how does this team make it? Remember back in spring where if G2 had won the whole thing, then Mad Lions would have just auto-qualified to go?
Yep.
Remember that? People forget that. If G2 had won again, Mad Lions would have just auto-qualified. Mad Lions essentially sandbagged the summer split, came back for season finals, and it made top 3. Crazy, right? So I'll ask you, would there be any other tweaks you would make to the format, or how did you think about the format throughout the whole year, actually?
At first the LEC format, I was okay with it. But the more it went on, the more I started disliking it. I was like, this is too much. There's too many these games are just pointless, in my opinion. It was just I was like, this is just what.
You know what I think they should do? Yeah. I think even the BO1s initially, because the BO1s run on super weeks, and that super weeks are tiring, Super weeks are fun when you get them every once in a while. How you have your in your first round robin, you get a super week to start off the first week, the new one. I think take out the super weeks, just do straight best of 3s then to start it out. If you start 0-3, get the fuck out. You're not worth it anyway. I'm being honest here. If you're Excel and Fnatic and you get 9th and 10th in about 3 best of 3s, do we really need to see you past that point?
Okay, pretty much just make it like the LCK there in a sense.
Essentially, yeah. Okay. You can still have BO3s after that into top 4. That's fine, because I think what people would get tired of is the super weeks. Because I don't mind it initially when League first starts, but as we go through each week doing it, and given how the format was, it's this is just. It's not that it's bad, it's just kind of tiring. Now, that could also be due to the fact that the LEC's quality and gameplay dipped this year massively. Yeah. Then a lot of the teams were just badly managed. You had a lot of players on some really off teams. why is Yankos on Heretics? Oh, well, we know why he's on Heretics, but you're like, fuck, man. Yankos is on Heretics. Cloud9, given how good he's played, he's got to play with BDS. Then you have players like Chasey on Mad Lions. Or like, why is this? Like, people are gonna look at these splits and go, damn, they finished top 3. He must have been one of the best top laners. Oh hell, fuck it. Like Humanoid and Razork throughout the year. And I'm like, man, those guys must have been the best mid-jungle duo in the entire league. Give me the gun. Just give me the gun. People will look at XL finishing in the season finals and go like, they must have been a pretty good team all year. Oh God, fuck, if that's ever a thing, kill me now.
Yeah, just all the changes.
Yeah, because Abadage, I thought he played really well. Pretty much ever since he came into XL, in the situation that he came in, I think if he doesn't get on a team next year, I think that's just bad GMing, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, if you don't pay for that, I'm not saying you have to pay for him, but if you yourself aren't trying to get a player like that, then you're not trying to win, in my opinion, for the most part. He played out of his mind. I think he should get a spot on a top team. I mean, maybe Mad Lions go for him. Maybe Fnatic should go for him, because that's one of the few players I definitely wanted to make a talk about for a second, because I think he played really well under circumstances. I think he massively came in, was a huge difference maker for his team. He sadly has he has this thing where he's not good in the finals, but I guess.
But he's actually. I went back and looked at the games. He wasn't the reason why they lost any of the finals. Like,
yeah,
Duffy's this one. This one was just.
This one's just team diff. Not his thing. It's like, I mean,
they took G2 to 5, and then G2 had a week off because, of course, they were in the finals.
Yeah,
and honestly, whoever made it against them was going to lose anyway. It was XL and
Because didn't they face Fnatic to get? Yeah, right, they faced Fnatic. Yeah.
Yep.
Because the thing here also is, you got to factor in that XL roster like overachieved. For being honest here, outside of Abadage, Odawame's had a shit year for the most part. He had a few good games every now and again, like every once in a while, maybe. But he had a horrible year. I mean, they had Xerxes. Would you really call that a player from this year? Not really. Then you had Ass Peach. He was terrible. He could barely play Maokai. They grabbed that guy out of the fucking bargain bin in a 99-cent store or a fucking thrift store. Like, that guy was terrible. Then they had who did they have initially? It was Vetio, right? Vetio, he's just like literally this is Vetio. Unless he's around like certain people that can put things around him to make him look good, he's just going to completely crumble. He completely crumbled. People kept saying, oh, he's like one of the best mid laners in the league. And I was like, okay, so from 2022, he was one of the more better mid laners in the league. He was MVP material based around the team he had, but I also said this as well. It's only going to happen this year. He's literally not that good. He's not that impressive. I don't get the hype surrounding this guy. I've watched this guy for a long time. He's ever since 2021. He was on Misfits. I don't think he's honestly that good. I think he's a very okay player because you saw it this year when he's on his own in XL. Super liability.
But my thing is he's still getting opportunity. That's got to be something there.
He's probably performing very well in scrims. That's all that really matters at that point, I guess, for them. So XL kick him, bring in Abadage, who was a backup to Vetio, actually. So you just kind of swapped him up.
Yeah.
Patrick, I thought he played when Patrick played with Targamas, he looked pretty bad. But when he started playing with Limit, he started to get a bit better and get back to form. Because he's usually always even though how I feel about Patrick, he's usually always the top 4 ADC. I was like, okay, if you can only be a top 4 ADC consistently, that's really good. And I was like, where's my top 4 Patrick at? Where's this guy? And he started coming back. He started looking a whole lot better. Limit just kind of existed there. He was just hungry and thirsty. He was just trying to throw a series at a single point,
No, but at times he was the reason why XL stood in the game and won, came back.
A few of them. It was there a little bit, But when it came down to those clutch moments to win, he was trying to go to KFC. And he's playing so bad in some of these games. So like I think if you're any LEC org right now, I think picking Abadage is your best bet. If you're looking at any of those XL guys and you're like, I should get Abadage or Patrick, those are the only 2 players you need. I would not really take Limit. I think he has a ceiling. I don't think he's impressive at all. I mean, if you take Peach, you're just asking to get 10th. You could take Otawamne. He had a really bad year. He's only had like a single bad year in his career for the most part. Everything he's looked pretty good. So I would take a risk on him. Actually, not myself, but someone else is going to. So, what other team do you want to discuss before we talk about G2, Fnatic, and Mad? Those are probably the only ones we're going to want to talk about.
Okay, so far we've talked about BDS, XL, and Team Heretics. Team Heretics and Koi. Those are the 2.
Okay, so Heretics is I don't know. I think they performed as bad as well as I thought. Pretty bad.
It was Yanko the bust. It's like
they performed just about as well as you thought. Like this is a team you put in your power rankings and go, there's a slight upside for upset potential here, but other than that, a lot of these teams just kind of performed exactly where I thought they'd be, honestly.
Yeah.
There was some slight hiccups here and there. So we're gonna go over. You said Heretics, right? Let me make sure I have it right here. Jesus Christ, Leaguepedia. God damn it. All right. Winter. Let's do overview. Okay. We talked about Excel. You wanted Team Heretics. Okay, let's go to Heretics. All right. So Heretics. Yeah, most of this team was just Yankos or bust. Evie was bad the whole year. Remember that spring split? Those silent games he had? Motherfucker looked like he was doing crack on stage. Like, that was bad. That was like that Blitzcrank that we had our fucking games last night bad. Evie was pretty bad. And I know Sean was like, he started playing well to the very end. He still was losing given resources. How does a jungler visit your lane, give you 2 kills, and you still are losing in CS and map advantage? He's just trash for the most part. Who was there? Oh, they had Vetio. I mean, he was better than Ruby, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he had a few pop-off games here and there. I mean, you can't be much worse than what they have with Ruby,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he played great by any stretch of the imagination. They had Flacket. I think Flacket really stepped up for them. I think Flacket actually played well. Yeah, Flacket played well. Oh, they had Mersa. Yeah, Mersa's fucking awful. Mersa is complete trash. How this guy's still been stealing paychecks is beyond me. That's a fucking paycheck. So that guy is ass. That guy is ass juice. That guy's just as bad as Lebrov. People think Lebrov is bad. Have you been watching Mersa? How the fuck is Mersa still on teams? Someone please tell me other guy's still on any team to save my life. Let's talk about Astralis. Last Astralis.
Well, Astralis. I mean, was it the spring split?
They had a shot at doing well. They had the right meta read for spring split, but they still failed. Imagine having your only good split ever and still you can't do anything. I mean, this org is whack, man. Finn he's a top laner. He'll make some things happen. 113 was just like a ghetto version of Yike, if I'm being honest here.
I was about to say, isn't 113 the top laner?
No, he's a jungler.
Oh, he's jungler.
He's one who's he looked like Yike. I was like,
yeah.
To me, he's just a ghetto version of Yike. He's whatever Yike does well, he does just about.
He's like worse. He's like 1 bar below. Gotcha.
Yeah, Leader was good. Yeah. Also, that Leader actually proved why he should be in the LEC, but Leader's playstyle is just not what a team structure needs. Leader is like a guy who's like, hey, if there's a meta of like Syndra, Orianna, Azir, Victor, Zoe, Silas, this guy's like, you know what? Give me Zed. Like, whoa, wait, you want to pick Zed into Zoe? Yeah. Hello? Let me run that by me again. You want to play Zed into Zoe? Because that's my thing here is he's not really good at meta champions. He's really good at playing stuff that he's good at, but you can't really play that stuff competitively unless there's a patch where it's really, really broken, obviously. Yeah. Which I think it's bad for competitive league, but That's a discussion for another day, honestly. Kabe played good in that one spring split. Overall, he was pretty underwhelming. Yang Qing Yang Hu. Oh my god, it was Jang Hoon. Jang Hoon was pretty fucking bad for the most part of the year. Last spring split last year, he was amazing, honestly. He just fell apart this year. Maybe he just had no faith in this team. Because people like when these guys scrim and they practice constantly, there's going to be points of time. If you're on a bottom team like this, you're going to have no faith in your teammates at any single point, you know?
Yep.
Let's talk about Heretics, Excel, Astralis, right?
Yeah.
Who else we got? SK Gaming. I mean...
Apparently, SK. I was watching videos. Of course, the gorgeous shocks. And apparently, SK hasn't been to Worlds since 2014.
That's true.
And that was their last time they were great in a sense. And then they fumbled hard, and then they just never came back. I was like, oh shit.
2015 is when they. 2015 was their last decent year, but they ended up getting relegated toward the very end, and they got relegated by guess who? G2. When they were coming with my boy Perks. Yeah. So Irrelevant, I think, should be getting some offers from other teams. I think on a better team, this guy can shine. Who was their jungler this year for SK? It was Marcoon. I think in winter he was really good, but I think after that he was just not as good, honestly. Certus was just not it, man. It's just not it. He had some few pop-up games last year, but this year he was just pretty bad for the most part. Exekick actually might get some offers for some other teams coming up this year. I think you should take a look at this guy. I'm not saying his last few splits looked great, but given his mechanical skill, I think you would want him part of your team. And I don't know why anybody would want DOS. That guy is terrible. So, all right. So is that all the bad teams so far? Okay, let's go to Team Vitality. Okay, let's do them, actually. What about Team Vitality? Oh, Team Vitality.
Oh my God. That dumped the fire,
Fun. Team Vitality came in the same year as G2 back in 20. They started together in 2016 spring. G2s went on to basically win every single thing in the league, and guess what Vitality did? The exact opposite.
They do shit.
The only year they were ever good is when Yamato Cannon was coaching them back in 2018, and then in 2019. In classic Team Vitality fashion, with Yamato Cannon, they ended up failing completely. So, where do you start from this year? So they had Alfari from last year. He was one of the best Western top laners for a little bit there. He collapsed at a single point, started playing good. They replaced him with Photon. Photon honestly looked like the best top laner in the league for quite some time, but you could tell just toward the very end of the year, this guy just lost faith in his team. He knew you can't carry this fucking steaming pile of shit. You know, you can't carry this team. And given the meta surrounding this year, the top lane pool, I mean, you would need like massive leads to start doing the stuff that he did, and you can't just get in those advantages with this kind of team. Bo was a really hyped up jungler off his mini little stint on FPX, and I said this too. I want him to come in and just stomp the league. Did that happen? No.
Nope.
You know, people got to factor in. There's a reason why certain players look good around other players. I feel like that is a fundamental flaw a lot of people don't ever figure out in this game. Why is it that when look at it this way. So this is a weird conundrum because people can still see this player is really, really good. But look at it this way. Yankos is the best jungler EU's ever had. But he's only ever won things on G2. Ever. He's only ever done well on G2. Right? He leaves G2. You know, he's still really good. He can't replicate that success. Right? Same with Mickey X. Mickey X leaves for G2 last year. He's like, damn, I'm leaving. I can go be my own man. Wait a minute. Shit. Fuck. Hello, G2. I didn't really mean what I said. Can I come back, actually? So my thing here is people need to understand.
And with that case, the support that came in place of Mickey X was much worse.
Oh, yeah, too. XL even let him go. Yeah. That's crazy. That's another one of XL's longest standing L's. But you do understand there is a reason why certain players look good. Doinby plays around his junglers very well. So obviously, if there's a jungler that does that and has that kind of a play style with a mid laner who's going to do that for you, your jungler will look very good by default. Perks has never played well with any jungler he's ever had in terms of synergy, right? Perks didn't even play well with Blabber when they were playing together. Honestly.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yep. He was
terrible synergy.
I keep forgetting he was on Cloud9. I was like...
Perks had terrible synergy with Blabber. Like, awful synergy. I mean, Perks is not listed on Vitality's roster right now, so Perks is probably leaving Vitality. Woo! Juicy, spicy news, actually.
All right. Where do you think he might go? That's the real question.
I'll be an honest here, man. I love Perks to death. I think he's done some of the best stuff for the West, but given his recent form after these past 3 years, who's gonna want him? Why would you? He was complete ass this year, man. Like, he played so bad this year.
That's true. That's true.
Fnatic's not gonna want him. G2 for sure. Oh, he's never going back to G2. That'll never happen. I mean, unless he wants to prove himself on a bad org, he's not getting on the top team. I mean, is Mad Lions taking him? I mean, Nifty's not going to stay. I know for sure Nifty's gone after this year. I doubt Mad Lions takes him. He literally would have to go to a bottom tier team. He has to. His gameplay this year did not meet like, hey, I'm going to join a top tier team. Unless BDS throws away Nook for Perks, very possible. Like, I don't really see him joining any team, honestly. I mean, which would be crazy if he didn't get any offers. That'd be shocking. But in reality, when you look at Perks, should he really get offers, from any of these teams? I'm just saying, like, outside of like branding, right? Outside of personality and branding, he's a bad mid laner right now. Why would you pick him, honestly? Unless you're picking him just for his experience and veteranship, that's all you're really getting him for. You're not getting him for his mid lane skill, because that has deteriorated over the years, actually. Who else is here? Vitality. Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Kaiser, he had a really, really bad year. I mean, do you take a chance on this guy next year?
I would.
I would
take a chance to see if it was him that was bad, or was it him and the support he had.
I think on paper, back in the day, if you said that was a bot lane, that might have been one of the best bot lanes in EU. But this is 2023, and people say, "Oh, we'll have great synergy. They're both German." Okay, you don't know what people just don't know who Germans are. Apparently, is something. Yeah, I guess because you're a certain race, you'll just get along because you're that same fucking ethnicity. It's like, what?
Oh, and speaking about
where does that mindset come from? What does that mindset? I guess because we're both black, we'll just get along. It's like, it's kind of racist, right?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not racist. I mean, it's ignorant, but it's not racist.
I'm saying, like, just to assume you get along because you're both from the same country is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Kaiser,
no, because the main thing, it comes from like that brotherly thing where it's like
my brother in arms kind of thing.
Yeah, you will hope that y'all two will get along.
Kaiser,
sometimes it don't work like that.
Yeah. My thing with like Upset, people have to understand, like, Upset, like, hasn't really won anything, but this is still a great player, though, But the thing here with Upset is he's been to a lot of teams now, and they've had, stints where they like he came in to Vitality, and he came in spring, right?
Nah.
He came in in spring over or Neon. Remember they had Neon and they kicked him for Upset, and then it started off really well. They were stomping, and then cracks started to come all through their bot lane, and then they just started falling apart. They fell apart so bad that in summer because in at least in spring they were fourth, and then they ended up being first in winter. They got first with Neon. Actually, that was their highest placing this year, was getting first with Neon, and then with upset, they somehow managed to finish fucking 10th. I don't know what is up with this organization, man. Like, if I have to do an essay on this bad org, I'll be here all night. But what do you do for Team Vitality then? You scrap the. I mean, I doubt, because they did really, really bad. So you know that they're gonna scrap most of this team.
I'll scrap the whole team. You gotta look at the one player you feel like you could build around.
I guess you're just building around Upset, probably.
Upset, yeah. I think Upset's probably the one you build around.
I'm not gonna give up on Upset, but I can't also deny that the teams that this guy's joined completely just starts collapsing.
Maybe
he does that.
Maybe let him go. I think it's between him and Photon. I think Photon was just put in a bad position. I think they gave him a shit jungler that it would be racist. Like, the issue is, it would be racist. It would be racist if you said Chinese and Koreans will get along. It's like,
let's also. Vitality decided that it was good to have a Chinese jungler talk to a Korean top laner.
Yep.
I really don't know what to do with this. Burn it to the ground. I don't know. Like, if you can't. This is the thing, though, because this is the idea of these 3 splits, right? You can have orgs like them potentially steal one if they have a good run, right? Guys, they can't even win when it's 3 splits now.
And they got
had a better
worse.
year in 2018 when it was 2.
And then it got relatively worse each split. It was like,
and people said it's coaching staff. Oh my god, how dense are people? It's literally that be coaches. You gotta factor in people. It's not just that. It's multiple different things. This isn't. Yeah. This is why I had them 4th coming to this year. Looking at the roster itself, you're thinking like there's some really high potential here if it hits on all cylinders. But as I said before, if it starts getting bad, these players, given I know their personalities after all these years, upsets and purses.
Yeah,
I wasn't looking at a roster that completely, starts gelling together and things kumbaya together,
No, exactly, and it was just at that point you're like, okay, they're letting the top laner get blown up, and then they don't engage on that when he gets a good situation, let him die, and then the rest of the team just goes right with him. It's like, okay, you don't defend him, and then when you need to defend him, you don't defend him, and then the other team just takes you out because he was the take. Bo
remember in winter when Bo was winning a game? There was that best of 3 against SK. They were hard winning, and then the bot lane throws, and then Bo goes to himself, you know what? I know I almost carried my team. I wonder what jungler I'm going to pick. Karthus.
Yep.
You can just tell the mentality shift in their brains when they were in a losing position. In a losing position, these guys straight up thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like they're like, and that's the thing is, if your jungler thinks that, once I saw that in winter, I was like, I don't think this roster is doing anything. You can't look at that and go, that's a good thing. He legitimately was carrying a game, people, and literally thought to himself in game 2, I'll just pick Karthus. Bruh, what are we doing in life anymore? What is life? That's like you dominating on like Seraphine, and you're just sitting there telling me, all right, dude, good game. We lost, but what you want? Same champion? No, I want Lulu. What? What? Give me that first pick, Lulu.
First pick, yeah.
You first pick Lulu. I'm getting off the stage. You're playing that shit. I'm not playing that shit out. After that, the next org is to talk about Koi. Actually,
yep.
I mean, Koi is just a walking L the whole year. To be honest,
they go
bad What happened?
Yeah, no, and it all started once they changed their name from Rogue. It's like, what? That was bad. And then the issue is, it's like, I don't know what's worse, their stage performance or at their business side. I don't know what is worse to this team.
Seems like everything got worse for them.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they got rid of Otawamne for Shigenda. Shigenda, I guess in theory, was better than Otawamne.
He was better, but the team kind of got worse because they didn't really have a leader.
Malron collapsed this year. He was nothing like he was last year.
Collapse ain't the word.
Guys, this is how bad he was playing. He literally would buy parts of a jungle item. He'd be like 30 minutes into a game with parts of 2 items. Not a full item, parts of 2.
Yep. Doesn't even have one fully completed. I'm like, dude, how do you got half of this item and you need the other half, but the other half you have has nothing? I'm like, okay. You're just sitting there like, this the guy got brought over from what? Korea?
2022. Yeah, because they won with him, and then they decided, obviously, if you win with your jungle, you're going to want to keep him, obviously. But he played good last year. It made sense to keep him going into this year because he was good last year. But this year, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It just, like, if you're on stage and you are buying parts of 2 items and you haven't completed your mythic at, like, 15 minutes in, what the fuck? He's over here buying, like, Chem Punk for Vi? Like, just throw that guy away. That guy wants to go home. He might have been homesick. Throw that guy away.
And he wasn't homesick. He was definitely drunk. He was son. He was son because that was bullshit. I was like, Jesus Christ.
And like Larson, I think Larson was the only good player they had all year.
But you know
what Larson does, guy? You know what Larson does, guys? He signs with them. He re-signed with them going into next year.
That money must be good.
He must be getting sucked off by these hot Spanish bitches because there's no way you should be with these people. Like, but this is the thing. This is a way to lock down if you have a good mid laner right now in the offseason. I mean, credit to Koi, they locked down a good mid laner for the offseason, so you can start building around Larson. But Larson, dude, come on, man. Why? God damn. I guess he's thinking like, I'm one with my first org. I'm loyal to my first org. Larson, that's not Rogue. That is Koi. That's not the same org, okay? Jesus Christ, man. Comp looked really good last year and actually just did a 180 and looked like complete shit this year. I don't know a reason why you'd keep him, honestly. I think you just get a new ADC. Get a whole new team. Oh, they have Abby. Get a whole new team. Scrap all this shit. Whatever you thought was good, nah, scrap that shit. They gave over Trimby and Otawamne. They gave Trimby. What is their decisions, people? They gave Trimby, and in return, they got Advian. Who thought that was an actual good trade? What the fuck? Or it was also the same org that got rid of, Inspire Tube. So, more brownie points there too. No other org left, I think, right?
No.
Except BDS. They'll be the fourth one we're going to talk about to lead into the better orgs. All right, so BDS. I mean, given how last year was for them and how bad it was, this is kind of like the best you could think the year could go. Yeah, they didn't win spring in 5 games, and yeah, they kind of lost to Fnatic in 5 games. And they're going to a world qualification match. I mean, if you look at the year, just from a results-based analysis point of view, this is actually a pretty good year for the org. Overall, you made a finals, you had a very good shot at making the season finals, and you were also going to worlds, kind of,
Yeah.
But if we're looking at it from an actual player gameplay point of view, I think Adam just, he's below average, Shio just hasn't been good since spring. Nook is not a mid laner. He's just a human being, clicking buttons or something. Crowny, without him, people don't understand. If Crowny goes to another org this year coming up, they're about to be fucking 10th again. I really want to see how they'll play without Crowny. Actually, Crowny should be getting offers from a lot of teams. Actually, given how well he's played, I think he's played really well this year. Actually, really stepped up from how I thought about him previously. He's really actually improved. He came up and really has been trying to prove himself to be a top ADC in the league. Actually, and I don't know why anybody would have LeBron on their team going into 2024. If you have LeBron on your team in 2024, I'm instant putting you 10th. I don't care if that roster has like gods on there.
That's me. You saying that the team could have you say that a team could have Broken Blade, Yankos. Who's the best mid laner?
They could have Perks there. They could have Crowny. They could have Flacket there.
you tell me a team with possibly Broken Blade, Yankos, Perks or Caps, either one, Perks, Crowny, and like Crowny, but if LeBron's there, they're 10th.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, Crowny's the only one I feel like that can play.
LeBron is so much dead weight on your back will completely break.
Yeah.
To the point where doctors can't even fucking fix that shit. He's so ass. How this guy is still. If that guy wins the BDS series, God help my soul, I might just throw myself out a fucking window, honestly. Imagine LeBron against fucking Carrier. Jeez. Holy crap.
Not even Carrier versus LeBron versus who's the one from Genji?
Imagine LeBron versus Delight. Just imagine
Delight. Imagine them versus an LPL support.
God, imagine that guy against fucking On. He's ripped open. He's just destroyed. Like he's so ass. He's such a bad player. I'm
gonna feel bad for Crowder because Crowder's gonna have to go against Ruler and then it's gonna be Crowder versus Ruler, and then the support don't even matter because it's like the Chinese can literally send out an AI bot and it'll still beat LeBron at this point.
What else is there? Okay. We also have Shinryu. What's up, man? Yeah, man. What's up, man? More consistent content is coming out. I have a channel update video coming out tomorrow, which is gonna lay out all my plans for the future and everything. But nice to obviously have you back here, man. Nice to see you, dude. What else we have left? G2 Fnatic and Mad Lions, actually. So last portion of this, we'll talk about G2 Fnatic and Mad Lions. So obviously I can't detail all the history of these guys throughout the year because that's just a lot. But Fnatic is the biggest one. So Fnatic went from having Reckless and Rux, Wonder, Razork, and Humanoid finishing last. Remember that you finished last with that roster. That's actually impressive because, like, even with those kind of players, you should maybe still make playoffs, at least 8th, right? No, they finished 10th. They keep Reckless.
They were below Astralis.
That's how much of a detriment Reckless is to a team. They finished below Astralis. It's ridiculous. They got beaten by SK, guys. They got knocked out by SK Gaming. If you told people that years ago, they probably thought you were crazy, But all right. So in spring, they were like a Nexus hit away from knocking out Mad Lions, and then Mad Lions go on to win the spring split. Then Reckless is like, I'm gonna roll up to a support, and Fnatic's like, okay, you cool, go do that on like SK or some shit. You're not doing that shit here. Like that. Oh, you want a roll swap? Oh, that's great. Do that on a EU Masters
on BDS. You go.
You can go scroll up over there. You don't scroll up on championship winning orgs like this one. He's probably like, oh, they're not gonna tolerate my bullshit again because they can find better. He thought they couldn't find no one better after him. I really don't know why they. I'm gonna be honest here. I just don't know why they got him. Honestly, it was just that's a whole fuck situation I'll talk about later on. But he probably thought at this point they're gonna put up with his bullshit again. I'm like, nah, man. You fool someone enough with your bullshit. They ain't putting up with that shit after a certain point in time. And they got. He was a bad ADC this year too. It wasn't even like he played good to earn that kind of like, oh, I'll just roll swap and I'll prove myself as a top tier support. No, he was ass as an ADC this year. He played extremely bad. And when Noah came in, it was like, why did we ever degrade ourselves into that? Like even when Noah had like hiccups in his gameplay here and there from like some weeks, he was never like the worst ADC. It was never like he would hold it back on himself actually fighting in team fights, like Noah actually played legitimately well for what Fnatic needed. And then Fnatic ended up getting rid of Rux at a single point for Trimby. Well, they had Advian, and they're like, with this sack of shit, So throw away Advian and Rux, and you end up getting Trimby, which was great GMing by Fnatic's GM Dardo. He ended up getting Trimby, great. So you have Noah Trimby, good bot lane. You got rid of that fucking paycheck stealing fucking fag Reckless. So then after that, you also have Humanoid and Razork, who, it was crazy. Don't forget, from this offseason, you remember, dude? They tried to get rid of Razork. They didn't want Razork initially. They wanted someone else. They wanted Elyoya. That deal fell through, so they reluctantly ended up with Razork, actually. And Razork ended up actually really proving why he should still be one of the best junglers in EU. Humanoid, they're not keeping him after this year, guys. I'm sorry. It's not like he's bad. It's like he does that thing you always talk about. He kind of shits the bed in the regular season, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just get it together in the playoffs then," which isn't inherently bad from a concept point of view. But the way he does it, it's like he just literally sandbags. He doesn't even try. You have to still at least try. You have to put your best foot forward. I'm not saying you have to try hard to win a championship in BO1. I'm not saying that, but you can't just go up there and just play complete shit. He was going in some of these BO1 games from the first weeks and playing like absolute ass for the most part. You can't like sandbag on stage like that. And I think going into next year, and I mean his contract's up. He only has a 2-year contract. Fact is for most years coming up, guys. These contracts only last for 2 years, potentially 1 year, give or take how some of these guys want to maybe keep you, actually. So, I mean, would you take a risk on Humanoid for 2023? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily get rid of him. What I would say is, if he's going to play on your team, he needs to understand, in the regular season, I get it. You're not trying to put your best foot forward until playoffs, but you got to at least try,
Yeah.
You at least got to attempt like you're trying. Come on. Like, you don't want to, because the thing people don't understand, the regular season, doing good in the regular season gets you a better seeding for playoffs to make it easier on yourself. So if you sandbag the regular season, you're going to be in a position where you can't even make it past the best team because of how badly you shit the bed in the regular season. Yeah, you could, in theory, beat the best team, but is that really going to happen, honestly? Is that going to happen every time? Probably not. And for being completely honest, that's not the best. He just completely just chokes off the fucking balls of the earth, So, that's why I recommend, hey, do as best you can, but don't peak until toward the end of the playoffs, actually, where you can obviously show your best foot forward. Who do you have earlier this year? Wonder. Oh, I forgot that Wonder. He's playing ass. They got Oscurin, and Oscurin also looked really bad when he first got to the league.
Yeah,
he gradually improved each week, and he got really good toward the very end. He actually proved why Fnatic got him initially, and then he broke his finger toward the end of the split. Like literally, what was the last series he played? It was a BDS one. Yeah,
BDS.
He was playing with a broken finger in the BDS series. Actually, they win the series, and they just play Wonder toward the final 2 series. Actually,
yep.
I think you should keep him. Honestly, if he can show the form that he had before he broke his finger, then keep him. I don't see why he shouldn't. He was fine top laner for the most part. Who else is there? Noah, Fnatic. Do you think Wonder is going to get any offers from any teams?
I think so.
He probably should. He played well. I think giving him Orin in the finals was not good. Obviously, I don't think I've never been the hugest fan of Orin. I think there's better champions you could just play over him in most scenarios. If I'm being honest here, I think Sion's better in every single scenario possible. Like also it's much more easier to execute too. Also, its ult's much more easier to land too. Also, Sion's ult can't be stopped by a Braum ult. People forget, like if you Orin ult and Braum puts up his shield, the second part of the cast just stops. This girl's ass is big. The fuck? God damn. Yeah, I think Wonder should get some offers from some teams. There should be no reason why he shouldn't. Honestly, he proved why he's one of the more stable top laners in the league. Is he going to be his peak form like he used to be? No, that's not going to happen ever again. But if you ever unlock that out of Wonder, you'll have that, which is a very good bonus to have out of him. All right, let's go to Chaz's favorite team, Mad Lions. What is? I mean, look at it this way. They got there in the end. They got to being a top 3 at the end of the year.
Yeah, them sons of bitches.
It was very bumpy. This is a bumpy road.
No.
Not ups.
No.
Downs.
It was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster. It wasn't. It was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster to hell and back.
Like if you're a Mad Lions fan, and like somehow you luck out and win a split this year, given how much ups and downs this org has had throughout the entire year. I mean, given how many ups and downs they've had, they won a split. They went to MSI. They're going to Worlds. They finished top 3 in the season finals. Honestly, are you really mad at the results? Probably not, if we're being honest here. But given their gameplay, now that's from just a results point of view. Gameplay point of view, oh hell no, not blow this shit up. I'm good. Blow the whole team up. Niski's not saying, Elio's not saying, Elio didn't want to be in the org. Let's go after. Elio didn't even want it to be in the org itself.
Yep.
Elio wanted to leave. Niski wanted to leave.
Elio was hoping to get on G2 before they got to
and Mad Lions. I think they deliberately fucked up the negotiating point of view just to keep him.
Oh no, that's happened. I've seen that happen in trades where a team will a team have done that. Like
I think they threw out that number because they would know G2 and they all. First of all, no player in the West is worth $1 million. I don't care what it was. No player is worth $1 million, especially from this part of the world we're talking about league. No player is worth $1 million. And then G2's like, we'll probably find better in the ERLs.
Yep.
Like, I'll take the risk to do that. $1 million or take half of that and find the risk of an ERL player doing just about as well, if not better. And
the good thing about it that if he's going to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and since Yike had a good year, if they don't want to keep Yike because they want to go in a different direction for next year, now you have another jungler you can sell off for a good price that you paid pennies for. He has to be like probably on the lowest contract out of everyone there. He has to be.
Yeah.
So we know Niski's not staying after this year after Worlds. Elio's definitely gone. He didn't want to. Not both of you didn't want to be there. Chasey
might stay. It depends on who leaves. Right. They gotta keep somebody.
They're keeping Carzzy for sure. That org just loves Carzzy. Carzzy can shit the bed in a whole. Carzzy was ass last year. He was good in 2021. He had a really bad 2022 year.
He was decent. He was decent at times in 2023.
He really stepped up like for them when it came to that spring split and
the spring split of MSI. Okay, the first couple games of MSI, once they got to T1, they were burnt out. I could tell this team was demoralized. Yeah. And then they were demoralized.
Is their best player, even if you look at the season finals. I just don't see a world where they get rid of him again. I think he just stays by default. Yeah. Hill is saying that's the thing though. The best teams always have Hylissang, Trimby, and Mickey X. But the thing with Hylissang is Hylissang had a pretty bad year. Like, look from gameplay point of view, because he usually has like splits where he looks like one of the best supports. He didn't have that this year. At no point this year he looked like one of the best supports, if not like a top. Yeah, he's probably there top one by default because everyone else was just shit. But he was also bad himself most of the year. We're being honest here. Like in theory, I don't know why people thought this would be a dark horse team. They had good players, but these players' specific play styles would not work out together. It just doesn't, Like they're going to be at MSI, not MSI. Oh my god, they're going to be at Worlds.
Yep.
Are they going to do anything? No. I mean, most Western teams aren't. Well, none of them are, for being honest, outside of like G2 potentially.
Maybe G2. There might be
there might be a chance, man, that Golden Guardians just makes the finals.
It might be, or maybe Cloud9 figure it outside, and they get to a deep run.
Maybe a volcano erupts in Hawaii again. Maybe.
Maybe all the Eastern teams catch COVID, and it's only Western teams shit.
I
don't know.
I don't know, man. It's Worlds is unpredictable. It is for sure. What else is after that? Yeah, for Mad Lions this year, if you're looking at just them as an org, I mean, yeah, they got there at the very end, but this road was just, well, they even sandbagged a split. They even just went fuck summer, and they just did it for the season finals.
Oh no!
Holy shit,
easily,
man!
Because once they realize, okay, all we gotta do is get to the playoffs. It's like sometimes,
they just made top 8. They got knocked out in like the first round, and they were like, all right, okay, we still have season finals.
All right, cool. Yep.
Holy mother of God.
That's fun. That's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's great for competitive integrity. Whole or just sandbagging.
Exactly. You just sit there like...
And the last team, well, I guess the last org we'll talk about for the last 5 minutes is just G2.
G2. And talk about Yike. It's like, would you want to really get rid of Yike after the season he had, the year he had?
To be fair, this org's got rid of Jankos as the best jungler in the EU ever, and they still managed to win. I think anyone could just kind of win here, for being honest here. Given the players surrounding them. Okay, there are exceptions to like certain years, right? But the thing here is G2 was always trying to, as an org, what I always felt like, they always just try to challenge themselves in many odd ways. So the same thing that Cloud9 does randomly too, like Jackal sacked an MVP and get another person, you're like, but you just threw away the league MVP. But then you realize that the situation that some of these orgs put their players in makes them shine, right? Yeah. So Yike's doing good right now in G2, but he goes to like any other org. Is he going to have the same level of success? Is he going to also play as well? Because for a jungler point of view, it's really easy to look good when all your lanes are winning. But it's really hard to look good as a jungler if your lanes aren't winning. You have to, have creative paths on how to jungle. Maybe you start carrying games yourself. You play through a certain lane. Do I think they're getting rid of him? Given how they always do things, it really just depends. I think if not this year, then if he does bad next year, I think they just get rid of him next year, honestly.
Okay.
I wouldn't get rid of him now. I think he's gradually actually gotten better and better each split, honestly.
But I wouldn't get rid of him, period, unless it's like we get to a point where, okay, it's off if he
just shits the bed at Worlds, because you must keep this in mind too. If you do bad at Worlds, people obviously they overreact to certain Worlds results, but if he plays bad at Worlds, they might consider it.
Yeah.
But if he's completely fine at Worlds, then I think they just keep him, honestly. That's the problem, is who do you get rid of out of this G2 team? Like, would they just keep the same roster? I really feel like they'll just keep the same roster, honestly. They're not getting rid of Broken Blade.
Nope.
Cats ain't leaving.
Nope.
I mean, could you find someone better than Hansama? Potentially, maybe. But that's probably going to be the same. You're going to have the same player, essentially,
Yep.
Because who'd you replace them with? Someone said Crowny. You're essentially getting the same player at that point, unless Crowny's personality can't match with theirs, and then obviously, it would have team chemistry problems. But Mickey X, he knows where his bread is butter. Mickey X ain't leaving again.
I don't know if Crowny would be a good fit for.
Yeah, the thing is, getting rid of Hansama is also like that, because that would be implying he was their weakest player, which is not true at all. Even when they had like a bad spring split, when the team was kind of not doing so hot, him and Mickey X were the best parts about the team, though.
Yeah.
So honestly, they're probably just going to keep the same team, if I'm being honest here. There's honestly no reason to break it up unless they have a bad Worlds. And I even think at that point, I play it in Europe again, honestly. Because because I think G2 has expectations of, I guess, doing some damage at Worlds, but outside of that, I mean, it would make no sense to get rid of Broken Blade, as he proved he was the best top laner in Europe. Caps can still be the best mid laner, or one of the best mid laners. Yike is a player where I guess the only player you could, in theory, argue to throw away is Yike, but why would you? He's played so well for them, you know? If he was a player where he just shit the bed the entire year and only looked good because they made him look good, then I could see a reason to get rid of him.
Honestly, the player to get rid of is honestly the player to get rid of is Caps, but they won't do that. That's it. They're like, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That makes them balls to get rid of Caps. You know, I just don't think they do that though. He signed to 2024, actually.
Yep.
And Hans Sama, like I honestly would just keep the same roster. Honestly, it's not that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But you get any of these players to any other team, I don't know about that.
It depends on what team. It's like okay. So you put. It's like okay. Say you swap Yankos and Yikes. Does Team Fnatic get better or worse? I mean, you can't get any worse than what they were last year.
To be fair, and you're if that's how you view it, literally anything but up for them is good.
Yeah.
Actually. Oh god. But that is gonna be pretty much it. You know, as you guys know, we'll do this again next week for the LCK.
LCK,
actually.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say, man, before we close out? Actually,
I do hope the LEC, I hope mainly G2 and someone Fnatic. I hope they do well at Worlds. Mm-hmm. Mad Lions, they're lucky to be there.
They'll be there. They'll have their icon.
Yeah. BDS, I hope they don't make it. I'm sorry.
I swear to God. If you ask me, is it NA or EU thing? No. They're both not good. I literally, it is two retards.
I think Golden Guardian is good, but they faltered toward the end. It was like.
I really do want Golden Guardians to win. If I'm being honest, I think they're, in theory, have the better team. The problem here is, are we expecting them to show up and actually win? Because if we're being honest here, BDS, they only really have Crowny. Like Adam to Licorice, like that'd be kind of hyped up matchup, but I think Licorice wins in that.
Licorice,
Gory to Shio.
Not
Gory. Oh my God, River to Shio.
River to Shio.
Even if he's bad, I still give it to River.
You got Gory to
Nook. I'm still, even if Gory's playing, I'm saying like even if these Golden Guardians players are not having the best split or playing good, I think they have the better team. I think Golden Guardians wins that.
I think the only place where I say is like Crowdy. Crowdy's the only one I would say.
Yes, you're definitely choosing Crowny over a 6A, but I'm not picking LeBron over Huhi. Like, that's not happening.
I'm not, dude. I will pick LeBron over fucking Diamond. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, at least Diamond knew how to do some shit. I'm not picking LeBron over fucking supports I got like that been retired. I rather get an old retired Afro move before I play with LeBron.
Right?
What that shit?
Yeah, man. I think Golden Guardians wins it. Honestly, I have them winning. I've been winning 3. I want it to be 5 games because content reasons, but I think they'll win 3-1. Honestly, unless now I will say this though, Adam has an X factor of popping off with his champions. I would say if they actually think that Adam might pop off with his champions, ban him away. Don't do that. Oh, we'll just play. No. I want none of that. If I hear that, I'm breaking my brain. Just get rid of him. If he only plays Darius, Olaf, and Set, ban all of them. That team has no flex picks. That team has no strong picks to go for. Ban all of Adam's champions, and they have no
comeback potential. They fall behind far enough, they're not coming back.
Yeah, let's be honest here. What else? All they have is Crowny doing well, and Adam potentially popping off on Darius. Bro, just ban Darius. I swear to God. They'll be like, oh, we thought we could play into it. Why think you could? You just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Don't even play.
It's like a game where you can play around the weakness. You knock out the weakness to your deck. Pokemon
if they ban out Olaf, Darius, and Set, who does Adam play? Renekton? This Renekton's pretty bad. Who's he play? Cassante? Adam play Cassante.
Yeah, that's GG for you.
That sounds like an L.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you guys for supporting the channel so much. Consistent content is coming out. Channel update video coming out. Monday, potentially latest Tuesday. And we'll see you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Peace out, y'all.
I messed that whole up. Thank you guys for showing up today, guys. Peace. Good.